mean, you called him. Actually, you called him one of the greatest hype men of all time. I'm inclined to agree. I really am a big fan of Steve's. I love hearing him on the mic. And I was browsing the dark bowels of Wikipedia the other day. As you know, you fall down to Wikipedia, all happens. I came across what has to be one of my favorite entries in all of Wikipedia: notable hype men. It lists. There's an actual entry in Wikipedia for famous hype men, led, of course, by Flavor Flav, one of the finest hype men of all time in hip-hop history, about which you know strangely a lot. So, I don't know, check out the Wikipedia entry on notable hype men and learn more about famous hype men from history.
I mean, is Yipes on there? Is Steve on there?
They're not, but they should be. I mean, if there were justice in the world.
And look, someone was actually just telling me that there was a Cracked article on, you know, on people with disabilities overcoming those things. So there's this girl who has 2 bionic legs, basically, who has, you know, made music videos and stuff and dance videos and all these sort of things like that. And #1 on that list was Broly legs.
What he does is absolutely incredible.
Yes, exactly.
And we see he's actually, I think Evo set him up with a booth this year, and he's out there with his family and supporters selling the book he wrote about his experiences here. For those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with Broly legs, I'm not even familiar with the name of his condition, but he basically plays with part of his hand and his mouth and executes at an amazingly high level. The dude's way better than me. I'll say that, I played him online before, and he spanked me.
David had a story once that he went online to play Broly legs, and Broly picked Fuerte. And so he was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and...
Which is like his B-list character.
Right. Yeah. And he's going to like, I'm going to just risk an uppercut because it's not like he's going to run, stop, fierce me, right?
Wow.
And he whipped the uppercut, and sure enough, fierce run, fierce run, fierce run.
So he's so dirty. He bet against the Broly legs. He's like, well, this guy's playing with his mouth. I think I don't have to worry about much of a punish. Wow.
And, you know, same thing with Viper. Fierce, feint, fierce. Caught David by surprise.
Don't underestimate that man. That's what he feeds on, Broly legs.
Look.
Happy to have him here. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay, well, we've got a semifinals match in losers here. This is 2 now out-of-country players. Latif, originally from Saudi Arabia, moved to the States for a while.
And he's back over in Saudi Arabia
now. He's back in Saudi Arabia, yes. Yeah. Hasn't been playing as much recently, but looks like now that he's made it this far, I'm sure he's practiced a lot for EVO.
And I got to say, I liked Latif's. Latif, of course, came second at an EVO finals. Very, very strong player. That was a reach for him. People weren't expecting him to go that far, but he really proved that he has the guts and the technique to push through to that point.
Right.
I like the way he's been playing now. Sort of after he reached that height, he sort of quieted down a little bit. I like that he's been playing a little less, and it's sort of brought a freshness to his approach to the game. I think he's been playing loose. He's not playing with a lot of weight on his shoulders. He doesn't feel like he has as much to prove anymore. I think that benefits him. Ryan Hart, of course, one of the most explosive players in the game. This guy can take anybody out from any position. There's not a player in the world who's not afraid of Ryan at some point.
Yeah, and you know, you said that he can take you out in this game. He can take you out in any game.
He's an EVO winner of Tekken as well in the past.
Yeah, he was a great Virtua Fighter player.
That's correct, yeah.
He's great in Third Strike.
Of course, originally hailing from the UK, but has spent a lot of time in Japan. Seems like he's over here every other week these days. He's basically just traveling the world. He's a true world warrior. Really interesting guy. A lot of neat ideas. I like the way his mind works, and he is not afraid to just go ham. And that's what I think makes him so scary. Ironically, I talked about there is not a player alive who's not afraid of Ryan Hart. Ryan Hart is also, in my mind, should be afraid of Ryan Hart. Sometimes he is his own worst enemy by going for some of those crazy reads, going for a clutch uppercut in a surprising situation. And sometimes he does pay the price for that when it might have been preferable to go to slightly more conservative option. But he can really throw that gear switch hard, go into full attack mode, and I really like the way he plays. So here he's going to be pulling out his Yun. He does have a large number of characters in his repertoire. Latif, known primarily for Viper, and has been sticking with him throughout the tournament.
That's right. Both very aggressive characters, so it's going to be interesting to see who can exact their pressure more than the other.
Yeah, both of these have shaky defense, and Ryan going right in there to try and maintain that pressure.
And now here comes Latif.
And what makes both of okay, found it! Wow.
Great fakes on those seismos, got him to jump. Again gets him to jump. Oh, and then a counter hit on that.
Be big, there it is, there's the stun.
House gets the dizzy right away. Latif showing where he left off on EVO 2011.
And you talked about Akuma as being a character that people kind of sleep on. They forget about like how powerful he really is. Viper's another character that was all the rage for a little while and then has quieted down. But Latif showing she's still super powerful.
And she got some really nice stuff in this version too. She got a better low forward, and then the combos off of Thunder Knuckle FADCs.
That's true. Red Focus was initially thought to be a super powerful technique primarily for Viper. And Yun.
It's true, actually, both of these characters.
Yeah.
But Latif right now has just been going crazy.
And Ryan Hart making a brilliant adjustment there to try and alter the timing of his dive kick approach onto Viper to avoid getting Thunder Knuckled. That's been the story of the match so far for me. Brilliant Thunder Knuckles from Latif. Very brave, very risky.
All right, Ryan Hart here making this comeback little by little here in this round.
Latif in the corner doesn't want to try the seismo pressure. Okay, threatening it.
Oh, just
from the
kind
front.
He tried to challenge it or maybe block the wrong way, but
it could be. I got to think that Ryan would have guessed that Latif wanted out of the corner for free and that he would be coming from behind. Latif smartly trying it from the front and finding pay dirt and able to close out that round. Ryan looking in a calculating mood here, perhaps a little bit surprised by something he saw in that first game.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone to character select. As you said, he's got a bunch of characters in his repertoire.
Will it be Sagat? Yes, it is indeed Sagat. I anticipated this might be the case. This is not an easy fight for Sagat.
No,
I do think he has a general kind of control, but Viper has a lot of unusual options, particularly against the kind of fireball pressure that Sagat wants to play. But this is the kind of character that has the uppercut that he wants, a really, truly powerful uppercut.
Yeah, not only that, too, but this is his main character. This is who he's had a ton of success with. He was nerfed a little bit in Ultra, which is why Ryan Hart has started branching out to other characters.
For sure.
But for sure, this is the character that he has that connection with.
Yeah,
that he
for
just
me, when
knows.
I think of Ryan at his greatest, I always think about the Sagat matches.
Exactly. So let's see how this goes. You can see
Wow.
why there's a little bit of problems in this match.
And what is happening here? Viper is winning the fireball war with Sagat so far. Now that he's got the fireballs on the screen, a little bit more options. Wow, I like the composure. The men stare each other down. Oh, good knee. That's going to be important. Good block from Latif.
Yeah, not often you see people blocking that overhead from Sagat. You always forget that Sagat, of all characters, has an overhead.
Wow, and Latif walking right up into the position to make that Thunder Knuckle work. Finding success. Good block.
And just backdashes out of there after the block burn kick.
But
Doesn't
again,
want to deal with the mix-up.
And Ryan Hart is dancing to Latif's tune. He's got to find his way in here. He's got to start making things happen rather than just reacting.
Trying to get through there, yeah, but the seismo pressure from Latif has been ridiculous.
And Latif very smartly calculating that these trades are going in his favor. He gets a nice knockdown out of the air, and he has the life to give in this situation.
And you see him walk into the EX Tiger Knee range of Ryan Hart, basically saying, I know you want to do this to get through my seismo, so I'll walk up and make you waste your meter and block it.
There's that, and then there's also, I know what you want to do, and that is going to be right now sending it to match point for Latif. Ryan thinking very hard. Super serious look on his face, and justifiably so. He could be out of here as soon as this round if he cannot find an answer to this Latif pressure. And Latif brilliantly, effortlessly moving between long-range screen position and that mid-range where he can challenge Sagat's answers, and finding all of his hits here so far.
Yeah, look at this pressure that Latif had him in the corner. Ryan Hart gets out of there, but he already doesn't have any life left to keep taking these little chunks.
He's out of life. What worries me even more, he's out of ideas. I don't see anything that's making it look like there's possible.
Right.
But Ryan, of course, is a master of the YOLO DP. Let's see if he can find his way in here and create the opportunity to even land it. Even that, he's got to work hard to get into an opportunity where reversal DP is even an option.
Yeah, you just see little bits, that those chips from the seismo adding up little by little.
Those trades all going her way. Now danger.
Oh, and finally baits that final jump. We've seen Latif do that a number of times. He gets that last jump baited out of Ryan Hart, and he's going to take it. Ryan Hart has been eliminated from Evolution.
What is the one thing, I'm super impressed by Latif there, but what is the one thing I don't think of when I'm thinking of Viper? Oh, really strong anti-air reversal options.
Right, yeah.
Both rounds were, to me, marked by incredible positioning from Latif to be in the right spot to make that fierce Thunder Knuckle work for him every single time and scaring his opponents into staying on the ground.
Right.
Usually you think of Viper with the burn kick pressure and the shenanigans and the cross-ups. We didn't see that. He didn't go to it. He played a straight control game with the seismos and just really good decisions on the
And
anti-air.
he tried to stand at that. So there's this great range for Sagat when he jumps. If he roundhouses, he'll kick you. If he empty jumps, the Thunder Knuckle will whip, right?
Yeah.
He's like he stood in that range to get him to jump, and then he would walk forward. We saw plenty of times where you'd see the jump and then just this long journey from Latif just to get into range, so that even if he didn't do any buttons.
And who's expecting Sagat to be kept out by Viper, right? You don't think of her as a long-range pressure cop. That's sort of a B-list kind of plan for her.
Right.
But he really made it work, and just really elegant spacing
and
there.
you saw like the seismo pressure that Latif was putting on Ryan Hart. Ryan Hart was forced to jump a screen away the entire time.
Which is not where you want to. You're jumping to avoid something. You're not jumping to create a possibility.
Exactly. So Latif just had control in that match the entire time. That's why he's moving on. Unfortunately, Ryan Hart has been eliminated. So
it was. So yeah, Ryan Hart, storied Evo past. Sorry to see him go this year.
And of course, these events here, we love these events. They can't happen without all the sponsors who help us out for these events. Number one, Mad Cats. They basically help. They're like the backbone of a lot of these
from the beginning.
Yeah.
They were there.
They created the TE starting way back then, and now for Street Fighter V coming out soon, you see the sequel to the Chun-Li stick.
Oh yeah, that is the same style of art, but in the Street Fighter V styling.
And so there you see it. I love the yellow buttons and the yellow joystick to kind of match the Chun-Li colors as well.
Keep on the theme.
Yeah, so really awesome stuff. Very beautiful stuff. So, yep. And that's look. We've had a lot of people. I just want to talk about all these tweets about all these people who have been eliminated.
You can't start reading. Yeah, you're just going to get more troll tweets.
Yeah,
if you,
I know, right?
If you read them. You can't feed them like that, James.
Yeah, but I did see a tweet directly from Justin saying that in losers he lost to Hamad.
Okay.
So I think Justin's out. I heard Daigo was sent to losers by
Hamad, better known as Forwood.
No. Hamad is White Tower.
Oh, White Tower.
Yeah,
okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard Daigo has been eliminated. I've heard Bonchan's been eliminated. I've heard Luffy's been eliminated.
Nobody tells us anything.
Crazy,
up here. They just stick us in our little isolation pod and.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And in fact, they're probably the ones writing the tweets to us right now to test us, to see they created a bunch of fraud accounts and they're tweeting at us and like, hey, Jay Chunzer.
I respect the hustle, if that is the case.
They want to see how much misinformation we could disseminate over the
a quality troll is a quality troll.
Exactly. So.
Well, while we're going through button check,